Hello, welcome back to another video of Math of the Day. We are on the 22nd video. Today we will be graphing our exponential functions to visually see the rate of change in initial value. This will be a Desmos lesson. Let's get into it. As you can see, we have our two functions, f of x is equal to 2 to the x, and g of x is equal to 729 times 1/3 to the x, graphed on the coordinate plane. As I said earlier, we will be looking at the rate of change and initial value on the graph. Let's start with the initial value. Last video, I said that the initial value is pretty much the same as the y-intercept. Similar to the y-intercept, the initial value will be found on the y-axis. For our first function, f of x is equal to 2 of x, we can see that our initial value is 1, because that is where it crosses the y-axis, as you can see right here. You can't really see on the graph, but this dot represents where the this point represents where the initial value is. For the second function, g of x is equal to 729 times 1/3 to the x, the initial value is 729. Now, let's see the rate of change on this graph. In the last video, I said that the rate of change is the number raised to the x power in the equation set up for an exponential function. So for the first function, that would be 2, and for the second one, it would be 1/3, because that is the number you are raising to the x power. Rate of change, similar to the slope like in my slope-intercept form video, for every time x increases by 1, y will change. For this equation, every time x increases by 1, y will multiply by 2 because x represents how many times you are multiplying 2 by the initial value. So when x is 0, you are not multiplying the initial value by anything, so y is 1. When x is 1, the initial value will double and y will equal 2, as you can see on the graph right here. So if we get when x is 1, you can see it's kind of hard to line up, y is equal to 2. If x is 2, you will multiply 2 twice to the initial value and y will equal 4. And then if you do that one more time when x is 3, you'll multiply 2 3 times the initial value and y will equal 8, like as you can see about here. We can also plug these values into the equation. So if x is 3, we would have 2 to the third, or 2 multiplied by itself 3 times, and that equals 8, just like how we had a little bit ago. Now, let's move on to our second function. For this equation, every time x increases by 1, y will multiply by 1/3, or divide by 3, because x represents how many times you are multiplying 1/3 to 729, which is our initial value. So when x is 0, y is 729, because this part automatically cancels out to 1. When x is 1, we would multiply 1/3 by 729 once, and we get 243. So once we get to 1, we have 243. If x is 2, we would multiply 1/3 by 729 twice, or in other words, square 1/3 and multiply by 729 to get 81. Right there. And if x is 3, we would multiply 1/3 3 times to 729, or raise 1/3 to the third power and multiply it to 729, which is 27. Also, if we plug 3 into x, we can see that we are raising 1/3 to the third power, which is 1/27th, and multiplying that to 729, which is equal to 27, which is the answer that we just got. This is it for Math of the Day today. Next time, we will use our knowledge of exponential functions to solve real-world scenarios. I hope you enjoyed watching and learned something new. Thank you for tuning into Math of the Day today. Goodbye.